Hello and welcome back to Joyless Gaming and the Injustice 2 Legendary Grind. It's time for Enchantress. This one has taken longer than it should have, but you know, whatever. You know, we'll get there.
Enchantress.
Your technology won't stop Enchantress.
It's the man that should worry you.
In my experience, men are easy.
Begin.
That's basically the most effective standard combo you can do. Oh, that does reflect.
You might hurt June.
Her reflect thing doesn't always work against regular, or non-regular projectiles. What the hell? Damn it.
Stronger than you look.
I am darkness incarnate.
Yeah, what was I saying? Her reflect doesn't always work if it's not a standard projectile. They actually have to hit the shield.
Enchantress wins.
On we go. No, down.
Enchantress.
She's using me to steal this world.
The gods won't allow it.
The gods be damned.
Begin.
I already ducked. Oh well. Oh. Otherwise, this is her only full screen option for the most part.
Careful, you might hurt June.
No. That is just insane, how powerful that can be. I guess... Oh, it ran out. Yeah. The trance thing that I was using there, Hypnotic Spell, replaces her usual ender, and it's one of the most annoying things to deal with in terms of non-competitive modes. Because of everything that it can guarantee. But, it also allows her to pretty much confirm off of anything. Well, she already can do that, but she gets more damage this way.
I can't help it. She has to be let out.
But you'll hurt innocent people.
Since when is that a problem for you?
Begin.
Oh, good one, because, you know, Soups is definitely bad in this. Ow. Ow.
You'd make a nice
Hex him to death. No, I did it as a wake up. Ow. 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 Ow.
Ready to quit yet?
You'd make a nice pet.
Enchantress wins.
Alright. Boss time. And it may be unnecessary to go for the overkill, but I will go for the overkill and then use it again for the next one.
Enchantress.
Zatanna taught me to focus the power.
Your fate is preordained.
Try me, Mr. High and Mighty.
Okay.
Begin.
Vengeance of Horus.
So, yeah, on this one I decided to use the, not very good projectile. But it's less about, because obviously it replaces the projectile reflect. And as a projectile it's not very good, it doesn't even go full screen.
Vengeance of Horus.
But, odd thing is, it actually makes something of a decent combo ender.
Vengeance of Horus.
Because it's not so great as a projectile, but its startup is actually reasonable. At least the regular version is got reasonable startup. So you can actually use it as a combo ender, sort of.
Enchantress wins.
But it's the fact that I've got so much ability on this build that is because of one of the sets on it that it does so much damage. Because it's an ability. Level 20.
She'll rot every bloom on this earth.
I'll protect my children.
You sound crazy when you say that.
Begin.
That's right, second hits are low. Okay, so much for that being her invincible wake-up. Wake up, Super, why not?
wins.
There it is. And as usual, now we go to the lab. So a set of 4, that's where I normally put these things. Stats not so great on her set, but anyway. So, she gets 25% damage reduction while her trait is active, which is good because you can just activate it and then turn it into a wall that stays still to block the opponent, which leaves it active for longer and can give you, longer damage reduction. I wonder if it also includes the ability that replaces her character power with the ability that she got from Zatanna from Injustice 1, where it creates the illusion of 2 other Enchantresses. And you get to pick which one you are, so you can be further away or closer than your opponent thinks you are. I wonder if it applies to that one as well. But I think you get hit out of that one if you take a hit, so yeah, and it doesn't last very long. But this is the significant thing, of course, is the damage over time, which I'm not sure how effective it will be. But I'm just realizing, yeah, there's also the further damage reduction from the trait being active from this set bonus, which is pretty good. So, let's see what it does. So as usual, Superman's my training dummy. So, first thing is... oh my. It looked like 9 ticks. Yeah, it looks like 9 ticks of 2.42, which means the damage over time is adding up to less than the initial damage of the hex. I'm already not terribly impressed by that because, well, here's the thing. That's basically her launcher. So if you... so that's what a combo looks like. That's about as much damage as you can get. I think the most you can get is off... it's off the 1-2. But you have to get a micro warp. Because the 1-2 pushes back, but... there we are. So that's like her max damage regular combo off of her fastest standing button. I think. And the idea is that when the hex is active, this does more damage. Because it consumes the hex to do extra damage. There we are. So it added another... not much in the way of percentage. Another 20-30 damage. I am a little disappointed, because frankly, one of the best ways to get damage out of her is to delay the meter burn of the hex. So a delayed meter burn hex actually does more damage than a regular combo with the hex already applied. So, frankly, I am disappointed mainly because one of the things in general that I think is a problem with Enchantress is that, yes, these apply other effects that can damage the opponent or just limit their ability to do stuff, but it lasts for 5 seconds. Or is it 6 seconds? 5 or 6 seconds. It doesn't last very long. Yeah, it's about 5 to 6 seconds. And it affects a lot of what she can do. It affects the damage of this. It affects the damage of this parry. It actually doubles the damage of the parry, I think, or almost doubles it. And because you can end a combo with the restand and go into an unblockable that they can beat by mashing out of, you start tricking them with the restand into that instead, and they mash out of it, and if they've got the Hex on, they take lots of damage. $375.28 off the back 2-1, which is a slow mid, but you don't have to do any sort of dashing to make it more awkward. $403, so it gave me an extra 28 damage in this setup with whatever health and defense he's got, which is not amazing, but my stats are not amazing either. So it is actually helping your combos to do a little bit extra damage, but that also, bear in mind, you have to be pretty damn close to when this lands. See? In order for it to actually properly affect the damage of your combo because of affecting that, you have to land the thing almost immediately. So, the funny thing is, with the Hypnotic Spell, you could make better use of it because you can be guaranteed to get this applied, and then you can, go for that, or you can, trick them with that if every time you land it, if you don't have your trait to do a setup. So your trait combo does more damage than a combo with a bar. But if you can end your combos in the restand, which is not always easy, you can go for those sorts of things. The other thing you can do with going for the restand is that, but delay it. So she's got a lot of sort of setup options, but she needs to stay up close, and this doesn't really help. It helps in some damage, but it doesn't help with much else. I rather wish, instead of giving you damage over time, that perhaps it gave you a longer duration. But then again, the other effect on the legendary is to be able to use that to get a temporary damage reduction. But you do have to be able to set that up. And yeah, I don't know. Everything is almost entirely dependent on what you do at the end of your combos to set up a follow-up. And this being here, with the damage over time, and not an extended duration, doesn't have as much of an effect as using the Hypnotic Spell. Yes, it replaces this, and it replaces the extra damage you get from it, but it always gives you a restand that's massively plus, where you've got enough time to apply a Hex, which means you can go for these, or that, or, for the trait setup, into another restand where you can apply the Hex, and then trick them into poking out of that to take extra damage, because if they don't, they'll be taking guaranteed damage from that. I don't think this legendary makes her as effective as abilities already do, which is a shame. It's a shame that she wears that on her back, because now if I'm going to make that for the thumbnail, it's like I'm staring at her butt. Anyway, point being, I don't think the damage over time is a real game changer. If it's so... It almost doubles the amount of damage the Hex does alone, technically. Almost. And it's like a 75% or so damage bonus on top of the actual initial thing. But they're going to take more damage if it's the one that hurts them when they jump or duck. They'll take more damage from that than they will from the damage over time. Overall, it will increase the damage of a combo. I reckon you're going to get more mileage out of having the damage reduction while the trait is active than you necessarily would get out of... like I said, I think extended duration on her Hex would be better, because a lot of her competitive damage in terms of competitive modes is actually fairly low, even when you have the modifications of the Hexes to increase damage on things, except of course for the parry. The 2-1 parry with the Hex on does a lot of damage for something so simple. But it's, the extra damage over time, not so much. Longer duration would have been better, I think. And I think you'll get more mileage out of putting something like Hypnotic Spell on. Because that's just really, really useful. It allows for lots of setups. It guarantees, the regular Hypnotic Spell guarantees a Hex. And you get a resend into a Hex, into some sort of mix, so you could even just go for the 2-1 or 2-3 guessing game. And you gotta hit them with the unblockable a few times to make them want to poke or start mashing out. Of course, if their poke is a low, then it's not gonna help because it doesn't catch lows. It also doesn't last very long, so you can't always guarantee that. But of course, if your opponent's a masher, the thing's going to guarantee a full combo anyway, because they will be mashing instead of blocking. Yeah. So it's a bit of a shame that it's not that great, but it's also not that hard to get. I just took ages getting it because of reasons. Basically because I wasn't actively trying to in the last couple of weeks. So it's sort of the last few days through this week that I've been trying to. Actually, not even the last few days. Well, anyway, I'll have to do some proper editing on this to cut out a bunch of meandering nonsense. But I hope it was informative or interesting, entertaining, something. And thanks for watching. And bye for now.